Oh, hey everyone, how you doing? Groceries here for Adventure Quencher. I don't do this often enough, and that is gear loadouts. Oftentimes I get questions from people about what equipment that I'm using on trail. So I thought I would do that by coming to this beautiful place by a creek, and I don't know, it just reminds me of the trail a little bit at least. Anyways, let's dig into this. First, I just want to mention a couple things. When I do this, I'm going to go through each piece of gear, but I'm also going to tell you what it replaced, because I did make some changes. That way I can do all of it together. I don't have to say, oh, well, these are the gear changes, and then have you run around trying to figure it out. I'll tell you exactly what's been replaced throughout, and I'll tell you what I started with. That way you've got a full idea of how the pack evolved through the hike. I don't think there's a hiker ever that hasn't changed up something in their gear. So anyways, let's get in. Let's talk about what I'm wearing first. The shoes. Okay, so as some of you may already know, starting a year ago, I switched over from Ultra shoes over to Hoka, and I'm using, they're not tied up, but I'm using Hoka Stinson 7s, and I love them. I absolutely love them. The pants that I'm wearing are Patagonia Quandary. They're called Quandary. I like these pants, and I like pants in general. The hat is new this year. I went to an outdoor research, I don't know what you call this. I guess it's called like a boonie hat. So anyways, let's talk about the sunglasses. These are new this year. The first half of the trail, I used the same old ones I've been using for a long time, is the Oakley. They're called Flak Jacket 2. That's the name of them. And I'm using what's called a prism lens. It was a polarized lens. But then when I got to trail days, and after hearing so much from so many people about Ombras, and that's what these are Ombras. And then for what I'm wearing, I also want to talk about the top I'm wearing, and I wore this all year this year. It's an Outdoor Research Echo Sun hoodie. It's got a few holes in it. It's kind of dirty, even though I've washed it, but you know, these don't last long. They're not what I would call durable. Okay, fanny pack. I do carry a fanny pack, always have, but instead of the light AF this year, I went with an HMG, Hyperlight Mountain Gear. This is called the Versa. Oh, and this is what's called a DJI Action Cam 4, or Action 4. I also put a small rig case on it, or what we call a cage. And what this does is just protect it. I put the cage on it mostly for mounting option, but because these are pretty tough. And what I've done is I also have another camera that I use, and I use this little 1/4-inch mount. It's a tripod. It extends. It can also be a selfie stick. Very light. It's made by PGY Tech. I don't know the model number, but I know it extends, and it has a 1/4-inch 20, what's known as a 1/4-inch 20. I do keep a minimalist little 3 trifold wallet by Z-Packs, also made of Dyneema, I believe. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. It feels like Dyneema. This has lasted me 2 through hikes now. It allows me to put cards and everything. Super light, not waterproof, but certainly water resistant. Okay, moving on to the pack. I'll start with the outside, and then I'll work my way to the inside, and I'll just throw stuff off to the side as it comes. So let's start with the front. I have of course my bag tag, my PCT bag tag. I have a Kula cloth. Ladies, you know what this is for peeing. I have my ground sheet. I really do like, this is a Dyneema one, by the way. I do like them. They're great. Sometimes I just put it down, I sit on it when I'm not using my ass pad. Sometimes I have a siesta and I just lay it down in the sand. I grab my tent and lay my head on the tent. I love any kind of gear that has more than one use, and this certainly does have more than one use. But I will say, at 4 ounces, it is kind of heavy. Boom, toss that. I keep a soft case for my ombres. Inside here, because I like to keep it really handy all the time, is a first aid kit in a Dyneema pack. And so this is kind of a handmade thing. I have gauze, I have disinfectant, Band-Aids. Let me look through here. I have a safety pin, alcohol swabs, just little things, not too much of anything, because I'm trying to travel light, and most of the time anything more than this is not going to work, really. It's not, I mean, there's only so much you can do on trail immediately when something happens, but this is a first aid kit. Okay, new for this year and only halfway through, I switched from a Cooler cloth to what's called Culo Clean. Now what this is this is a bidet. It just goes in the top of a bottle and you just squirt as needed. Wet wipes, always bring wet wipes. I always bring a cloth with me. I clean my cold soak jar with it. I wipe off condensation with it. It's just handy to have. And you all remember Baby Backs. Baby Backs goes with me everywhere. He has traveled over 4,000 miles now. He's my little dude. I love this guy. This is my poop kit, what's left of my poop kit. Like I said, I only brought the bidet in later on in the hike. And from that point on, I didn't really need a bag for my toilet paper, but I kept it just because I want to keep the bag. And in the bag is a deuce of, is it called Deuce of Spades? Yeah, it's just called the Deuce. This one is a 0.6 ounce, 17 gram one. It's a little bigger than a lot of other people have, but I find the extra stability is better in the northern part of the PCT where you got rocks and stuff. What else we got in here? Okay, my little steak bag. And in here is our 6 mini groundhogs and 2 regular groundhogs. I use a little Dyneema bag. Down here I have my Enlightened Equipment Visp rain jacket. This is new for this year. I used the Z-Packs last year. I love this thing. Love, love, love it. Going down more here, I've got a couple of bags that I keep spare, plastic Ziploc bags. Down here is my Be-Free water filter with my Knock, not a Vecto. This is just a 700 milliliter bottle, a bladder that I use for collecting my water. Then if I go over here, my cold soak jar. This one I got at Trail Days. I used a Talenti jar prior to that, but now I started using this one because it's BPA free. I can put boiling water in it if somebody wants to give me a hot meal or whatever. And then let's move around to the back of the pack. This is another camera that I use quite often, and you see me with the microphone, but this is a different system for the camera I have. This is called the Pocket 3 by DJI. In this top pocket I have my Garmin InReach Mini. So it just slides in there and it sits on top of my shoulder. This way it's not dangling. This year I was trying to cut down on the dangly stuff. And my sweat rag, my snot rag, whatever you want to call it, I use a little pack towel. I always have that, just handy, especially in the morning. I sniffle a lot in the morning. On this top pocket, I always keep electrolyte, so I can just grab it, because I have it all set up where I can just grab my water, scoop it. I don't even have to take my pack off. Scoop water, put my electrolytes in, boom, Bob's your uncle, ready to go. In this bottom pocket, I have my hiking gloves, which always stay there at night. They go in and out. They're purple. I have a Nightcore NU25 UL. This is the newer one. It's 4 grams heavier, but it has double the battery life. Super tiny little $1 Walmart travel kit. And I use the bottles for various things. One of those things is sunblock. And the sunblock I use is called Live Strong. Lip balm, whatever you want to call it. Again, part of that $1 kit is bug spray, This is picaridin. I always use picaridin. I try not to use DEET. And I do also spray my pack with permethrin. Down here, I usually just carry my water bottle. In here, it's just random. These two pockets, these two sides. Oh, sorry, this side is the camera. I started carrying my electronics kit on the outside of the pack, just so that I could access it during the day if I needed to. This is a Dyneema bag, and my electronics kit consists of 3 cables, two proprietary. One is a lightning cable for my AirPods, which I have in my pocket. Then I have another cable that's USB to USB, and the third cable is for my Garmin watch. It has such a proprietary connector to the watch, I have no choice but carrying it. I also carry a battery block. It's a 20,000 Nitecore battery block. It's one of the lightest. It is a little finicky. I've often considered switching and going over to Anchor. I've also done something a little different. It was halfway through the year when I switched to a much heavier charging block. And the reason for this is it's got 3 outputs, I suppose you could say, but it's 65 watts. So this has actually saved me money. We'll call it a luxury item. The other one was 30 watts, this one's 65. This charges my battery block in like an hour and a half. So sometimes if I'm sitting there waiting for 4 or 5 hours, I might be inclined to stay there in zero. And I think this has saved me from zeroing a couple of times. Heavy? Yes, very heavy. In fact, it's almost as heavy as my 20,000 block, believe it or not. This thing is a brick. Before we get inside the pack, I also want you to notice that I'm using a sit pad in between the pack and my back. I find it really helps. It also doubles as something to sit on during the day. I can use it at night underneath my pad. I used to use a Gossamer 1/8 inch, and now I use this, and I love it. It's probably the same weight though. I don't think it's any lighter. Okay, let's go inside the pack and I'll show you what I have inside. I do keep a button. This is a guy from Ashland, Oregon at the Columbia Hotel. He's an artist. He gave me that button. I told him I would wear it. Wear it proud. I like to support other artists. First up, and I like to keep it at the top of my pack, is my Puffy. Enlightened Equipment Apex Torrid. This is the second one I had. First one was blue outside and orange on the inside. This one's purple and red. I don't think I have to say anything about this really, because you all know what it is. I've been wearing these for years. I swear by them. I did go to the Camino and try the Ghost Whisperer. Didn't like it at all. Immediately came back to this. It's about 4 or 5 ounces, very warm, synthetic, washable. It's just a Puffy. I don't know what more to say about them. Tent. Tried and true. Z-Packs Duplex. This is my second one. I went through the first one, threw it away. Had to. It had holes in it. It had over 4,000 miles on it. So this is a brand new spruce green Duplex Z-Packs. I keep that at the top in case it's wet, in case it rains. If it's wet, I still have my liner. My liner will keep my stuff protected. Food bag. There's only a couple days of food in it. Same one, Peace, Love, and Blisters. This is actually the second one of the same. The first one got destroyed. Now I'm into a Nylafume. So Nylafume is a liner that I use for my pack to keep things dry. I just take it and twist it and push it down. And in here is my ditty bag. Very small. Various odds and ends in here. I have a hairbrush. I have a field repair kit. I have straps for my pad. And something else I want to show you that I started just this year is a pump, a different pump. You know, I used a Thermarest pump before, but this time I got myself a Flextail 1.2 ounce rechargeable pump for my pad. I have Imodium in case I get sick. I have water tablets for treating water. I have something to clean glasses with, ear Q-tips, a mirror for checking for ticks, various things. That's pretty much what's in here. That's everything that's in here. A little bit of duct tape. Oh yeah, tape for my tent, Dyneema tape. So all the repair stuff is in here, and it's all in a Dyneema bag. Moving on, and this one's got a story. This is actually the second pad I had this year. I blew up the first one. The first one was a Thermarest NeoAir Uberlight. This one I replaced it with. The Uberlight is no longer made. It's no longer being made, so I had no choice. I went to this one. This one's heavier. The Uberlight was 8 ounces. Because this is the NXT, it's 11 ounces. So it's not that bad. It's like 3 more ounces. I like it. New for this year, brand new. Out with the Sky Goat and in with the Senshi. This is a Senshi alpaca fleece top layer. And I love this thing. Oh my, I can't even tell you how much I love this thing. It's very fragile. It's very delicate material. I don't dry this because if I did, it would shrink so much I wouldn't even be able to wear it. But I just love this. Now the big stuff. My quilt. This quilt is a new quilt for this year. This is what's called a UGQ Bandit 20 degree overstuffed to 950 with the extra stuffing in the foot box. Very warm quilt, so much warmer than the Enlightened equipment, so much more down in this than the Enlightened equipment. As much as the Catabatic, no, it's not as good as the Catabatic, but it's a great upgrade from the Enlightened equipment. I love it. I'll continue to use it. And I'll just take this out. This is my liner. In my liner is my rain pants. Again, Enlightened equipment. So I have the entire Enlightened equipment set now. See how light that is? Like, it's literally not even an ounce. A good gust and it'll go in that water. Because I don't have any night clothes, now I'm actually using a liner to protect my quilt, keep me warmer, and it's easy to wash. This is a Cedar Summit. It's a half silk, half cotton. I just throw it in the wash when I get into town. Love this thing. Helps with drafts too. Oh, we won't talk about that. That's an extra pair of underwear. I have an extra, oh, I don't have the socks here. Oh, I threw them out. They had holes, that's right. I have a buff. This is a buff a neck gaiter that I use. Doesn't need much explanation. My luxury item. Cedar Summit Eros Premium in large. This is a luxury item, no question. But you know, sleep is really important, very important to me. If I don't sleep well, I don't hike well. If I don't hike well, I'm not happy. It's kind of a circular thing, you know, but anyway, I do carry it and I'm happy that I do. Okay, this one I'll stand up for. This came late in the game. I forgot to tell you that I had toothbrush and toothpaste, but I do. This came late in the game. This is a Nashville Cutaway 40. In hindsight, I should have got a 30 because I have a difficult time filling this up. I did a full review on this already. I love this pack. This pack is like 14 ounces, all in with everything. It has 6 pockets, as I showed you earlier when I was describing what was in them. It's a running vest style, so I have a sternum strap here and a sternum strap up here, no hip belt. So for me, I really love this concept. I love this idea. These straps are so soft. Again, like I can link below the full link to the review on this, but you know, I can move the straps in and out. This is very important to me. So this is a pack I will use for through hiking. The total weight of this setup with the cameras is 8 3/4 pounds. That's not food or water. I didn't bring the water bottles because they actually stopped me at the airport and took them because they had water in them. I was hoping to carry them on and just drink the water. They told me no. So I threw them out. But I do carry water, and I do have a little toothbrush, toothpaste, like I said earlier. I keep a lot of the stuff in this little shelf pocket, the little ditty items, and then the bigger stuff goes around. And that's it. That concludes everything that I carried on the PCT this year. I hope you got something out of it, but this is for the PCT. For me, this covered everything I needed. This covered everything from being up at 10,000, 11,000 in the Sierra down to the desert. Did I put it on me all the time in the desert? No, but it covered everything. This was a full kit for me. Anyway, let's go get it, everybody.